In today's video, I'm going to walk you through my scroll saw setup, the heights, the angles, and a few accessories that I purchased right off the bat to make scroll sawing more comfortable and more precise. I've had several people inquire how much dust this scroll saw actually produces. All the dust you see here was produced when I cut the trivet in the last Scrolling Through Monday episode. All right, so from the floor to the bed of the saw, center of the blade, my setup is at 49.5 inches. And then the height of my stool is 36.5 inches. All right, so you saw the measurements of the height of the back of the saw and the height of the front of the saw, and that equates to 8 degrees. So why angle the saw? Well, the first advantage is that it's going to self-clear itself, meaning that all the parts that you cut out are going to fall off of the plate as they're being cut. The second advantage to angling the saw is that it just changes the way your hands land on the bed and you hold your workpiece. It's kind of like an angled keyboard at your computer. It just changes the ergonomics for your hands and the angle of your wrists and things like that. Just makes it more comfortable. If the saw were flat, your hands would be more like this rather than at an angle like this. I have a magnifying glass along with a light, and it's mounted to the window frame here on the wall. From the wall to the center of the blade is probably about 22 inches or so, and that's the right distance for this magnifying glass to be center of the blade. Ideally, you would want it to be mounted at the back of the saw, and that way the light and the magnifying glass, the arm would go this way, and you could move it up and down. But unfortunately, I can't do that with this unit. Another advantage of having the saw angled is that as parts are cut out, they'll slide down and fall directly into the bucket. Also, it catches most of the dust that you saw earlier that falls straight out from underneath the saw. A lot of that lands on my legs and the top of my feet. One of the first things that I purchased was a foot switch. This allows you to start and stop the saw without taking your hands off of your workpiece. Harbor Freight sells them $14 or so. Since my stool is so tall, I've actually raised the foot switch up and put it on a stool here. My right foot rests on this as well. And this is 12 inches tall based on what I need and my height for the height of my stool. Okay, so we went over sitting at your scroll saw. You can set this up to where you can stand at it. This angle is probably going to be the right angle for standing as well. Unfortunately, this is too tall for me to be comfortable and stand here a lot. Plus my foot switch is actually mounted to my footstool. That doesn't mean that you couldn't attach your foot switch to the floor so it doesn't move around, and you adjust the height of your saw so that it's comfortable for your height. I would suggest that your arms be straight out or a little bit down. So this is probably about 3 inches too tall for my height in a standing position. Have I used this saw standing with it mounted right here? Yes, I have. It is kind of awkward. I have to put my foot up on the foot switch to operate that, but sometimes I have large pieces that I'm cutting out and I have to get off of the stool so that I can get my body away from the blade. We have a 22-inch depth here, but if you're cutting something that's 18 inches, well, that 18 inches is going to be out here. It's going to be to this side. It's going to be to this side, and of course to the back. So you have to take that in consideration. Every scroll saw setup is personal, but small adjustments like height, angle, lighting, and your choice of controls make your scroll saw experience totally your own. So I really hope that you got something out of today's video, and welcome to the world of scroll sawing. This is something that I just discovered that I have fell in love with, and not only that, but I'm making patterns as well. I probably spend as much time, if not more time, creating patterns using Inkscape and Photoshop than I do sitting at the scroll saw itself. If you're new here to my channel, I do have a playlist of scroll saw related projects, and I also have a series on Monday called Scrolling Through Monday, and there's a playlist on my channel that has all those videos packaged all in one playlist. Really appreciate you stopping by and spending time and checking out my scroll saw setup. Happy scrolling, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.